Hey guys, it's your favourite YouTuber The-Toluwan here. So I've not done YouTube in a while, and I am so sorry for that. I've been very busy. I've had to relocate back to Belfast to continue my degree, and basically it's been a matter of priorities. But I'm good to be back, and I hope you guys are all so very well. So basically, I've been getting a lot of questions on my Instagram and on my YouTube about the US election. It's just like, who's going to win The-Toluwan? You're an expert, so you've got all sorts of knowledge on this. So I thought I might as well, why not do a YouTube video and tell you guys all of my pearls of political wisdom. So I've got this handsome fella here, Big Dada. Hey Donald. So I'm going to tell you all guys get you all a little up to date about what's gone up to this point. So you got this guy. Basically, up until February, things are going all hunky dory for him, if you know what I'm saying. Yeah. So he had a good economy. And he was favoured to win by most people. And then obviously this whole nasty virus called the coronavirus hit, and things went very downhill for the poor guy. I mean, like I hate Trump, there's no doubt that this whole thing is shaking his chances. But and I say that things were their bleakest for him back in July. He was down by 10 points on average, and Biden was clearing his thing. And but yeah, I mean, Trump. There's one thing about this guy, he knows how to make a comeback. So he's not exactly perfect, but he's in a far better position than he was then. So I'll move to part two. There's this guy, 5 years old, as Trump calls him, Joe Biden. I mean, Joe Biden is basically, he was favoured to win, but if you guys are nerds on this matter, you know, read of the 1948 election, basically the candidate there, the underdog Dewey, he also expected to win, but he basically ran a really useless campaign. He hid, and his opponent went on the attack, and in the end his opponent won a surprise victory. So I'm not going to say that this is going to happen this year, but there are parallels. I mean, Biden's not been in public in ages. He keeps postponing it because let's be honest, the guy honestly, I mean, he seems really senile, no disrespect to this guy, and he just feels like he falls asleep while talking. He's very low energy. He has to be reminded stuff. So not a great candidate, but his bet basically is that well, people think Trump is bad, so they'll vote for me. I mean, I've been a neutral observer in this whole thing, and we're not going to say it's bad, but it could work, but it could also backfire badly. It's a high risk, high reward strategy. But if it succeeds, then he becomes president. But if it doesn't succeed, then in January Trump will be sworn in for a second term. So it's complicated. But oh yeah, Kinsey. Well, there's this woman here who. So I'm sure some of you know she was a Supreme Court Justice. She worked for the Democrats, so she was left wing. She had to make some good decisions, but she died sadly. Yeah, sad face. But the good news for Trump is that this is going to energize his base, basically. There are people who are undecided and didn't know if not to vote for him, but oh, excuse me, I just had a fish and chips, tasted really good. But basically, now that she's Trump doesn't want a new Trump and his supporters don't want the Democrats confirming a new Supreme Court Justice. So Trump's got to get them to vote for him in case they win before a new one can be sworn in. And but then if a new one's sworn in before the election, it won't matter because Trump's already chosen a candidate. This woman, I mean, of course, to admit she is really good looking at a few things in politics. She does actually look really nice. But yeah, I mean, Trump's chosen her basically, and if you can get it confirmed before November 3rd, then that'd be a huge plus for him because it means that the Republicans will then have a 6-3 majority in the Supreme Court. Now map time. Okay, so as for the outcome of the election, I created this interactive map on 270 to win, which I've got interactive to show you guys how things are going so far. So these are the basics. Biden starts with 222 electoral votes, Trump with 169, and all of these states here are the ones which basically come down to whoever wins all these states will win the election. So this state here, Georgia, is leaning Trump, so I put it down here. So Trump has 185, and same for North Carolina too. So and even Florida. I mean, Florida's always been more Republican than not. So I put it down to Trump too, and Ohio. But basically comes down then to all of these states which are still in grey. So Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, Minnesota, and Arizona, and they're all quite tight at the moment. I mean, back in July, as I said, Biden had a really comfortable lead, but since July, Biden, with the whole thing of the riots and all, and Black Lives Matter, Biden's got a bit toxic in them, so it's getting tighter. So, but let me sketch out some election scenarios. So, if Trump wants to win at this point, then he basically needs they'll probably need like a mixture of these 5 states in order to push him up over the top. He could win Pennsylvania. That'll put him at like 267, and just 3 short to 270 to win, and then he'll need one more of these 3 to push him over the edge. So Wisconsin could do it. Sorry. Sorry, my camera probably is funny, I don't know why. Minnesota could do it. Minnesota does not fight the Republicans since 1972, but if Trump were to win it, which he's making a serious effort to win it, then they could do the job. Or Michigan could do it. I mean, they voted for Trump, and there's like the thing with Michigan is that like they've got a lot of like rural areas that Trump could like pull up the voting, but they've also got like 2 really big cities which are like tend to vote Democrats. So Trump's aim, if he wants to win Michigan, I guess, is to like maximize voting in the rural areas and then decrease voting in like the cities. So of course he could also win Arizona, which has constantly voted Republican, but started to become more swing states. I mean, in another 10 years, Arizona will probably be feeling Democrat, but at the moment it's starting to become more swingy. Biden was like doing a really good job there, like until recently, but he's collapsed there basically. Like in the week, it's gone down from an average of 5% in the polls there to an average of 3%. So he's doing poorly. But yeah, if Trump wins that state, and like I said, he wins like Pennsylvania, then he'll get past 270 and he'll be President Trump the sequel. He'll be in office till 2025. But on the other hand, though, obviously, since like I'm a neutral observer, if Biden wanted to win, then he needs to win. He needs some more scenarios as well. Ideally, Biden should want to take Florida, since like Florida's like got like 29 electoral votes. If Biden wins it, then it's game over for Trump. But Florida's been in Trump for a while, so let's just say Trump still wins that. But yeah, Biden, he could like, oh sorry, he could, if he flips Arizona, then that'd be 2-3-3. If like he manages to just like keep the Ross about the states I mentioned here, then so if he keeps Pennsylvania, that's 2-5-3. If he keeps Minnesota, that's 2-6-3, and then even of those 2 states will lead to President Biden. So yeah, there's Nebraska here, which has got 1 like electoral vote that like Nebraska's confusing. Let's just skip that and go back to here. So yeah, so basically it comes down to these 4 states, the Rust Belt states. Oh, why am I doing that? Well, but all these states in particular. Well, yeah, these states, yes. So I mean, as for who's winning, I mean, Biden's like got a lead there, but it's within the margin of error. I mean, like Hillary Clinton had a very comfortable lead on these states, and then we know who won on election day. But I mean, the pollster which I follow is Trafalgar Group. I mean, they're like very credible. So I'll put them up here in the search box. Not Trafalgar Group. Oh yeah, here we are. Yeah, these guys got the 2016 election right, and most people didn't. But according to their polls, I mean, according to them, Trump leads Michigan by a very tiny amount, literally 0.7 percentage points, but it's enough if he wants to win. But Biden leads in Pennsylvania, so that could honestly go either way. I mean, yeah, it's really tight, but it could go either way basically. And then let's go for some really apocalyptic scenarios then. So since obviously MS had is the one that caused maximum pain, so all right, that's that scenario I was thinking about. Sorry. So flip Maine to Biden, which is 2-3-3. Flip Arizona to Biden, 2-4-4. Flip Michigan to Trump, which is 2-6-3. Flip Nevada could go, well, Nevada, I mean, it could go Trump. It's not particularly likely, but it's possible. So I think this is just want to create this nightmare scenario, and then send everything else to Biden. That's 269, 269. So basically, under this kind of scenario, where there's a tie, no one gets the majority in the electoral college, and it's up to basically the Congress to decide. So in January, like when the new Congress meets, then members of like House Representatives will elect a new president, and then members of the Senate will elect a new vice president, and then if that occurs, then if the House is controlled by like the Republicans, then we still have Trump. If the Democrat gets control, we get Biden. But basically it comes down to who controls what, and then. But yeah, that could happen. I mean, this scenario is not very likely. Don't get me wrong. I mean, this happened once in history in 1824, but it could happen. It could happen again. And obviously, since like 2020 has been such a year, then you shouldn't be surprised if it does happen, basically. So look out for it, and if it happens, then don't say I didn't warn you. But yeah, this is definitely a good reason to be interested about this whole election thing. So there's that too, and of course, then there's the Supreme Court as well. I mean, you've got like currently 8 justices now, and if either side like challenges like the results and like what's his name, Trump's appointee's not confirmed, then and like the Supreme Court dead. Oh, sorry, I was getting excited there. The Supreme Court deadlocks, then things will get really messy. I mean, they'll get resolved. They'll get resolved in January at some point if that occurs. And when Congress arrives, if the Supreme Court can't come to a decision, then Congress they'll pass some kind of legislation that's temporarily like get things running again, and then they'll actually have whoever they want to be president. But basically, things won't be looking good for either side, depending on how it goes ultimately. So. Is there anything else I need to do? No, I think that's it. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was very informative, and I hope I've taught you a lot about US politics. Keep watching, and I'll keep posting more content. But until next time, over and out.